Hello and welcome to the John Ark Show. Today we have another episode of John Ark Show Viewer Consultations. This is where I answer questions sent in by viewers. Before we begin, I want to encourage you to subscribe, like, follow, and comment on the show. I'd also like to tell you about a company called HollywoodIsCalling.com. It allows you to purchase live calls with more than 100 celebrities. You can purchase a 15-second live call for $19.95 or 29 or a 30-second call for $29.95. So give them a try. It's HollywoodIsCalling.com. Now let's get started. So the first question is from Joe, and Joe says, my spouse is trying to steal my business. I opened a bar years ago and then I married one of my waitresses. I think I was just blindsided by her good looks. She was unbelievable looking. But now after 5 years, she wants a divorce and she wants my bar. What should I do? Well, the first thing you need to do is to hire an exceptional divorce lawyer, but not just a normal divorce lawyer, one who is politically connected in your town. You want a lawyer who is going to be a regular contributor to the re-election campaigns of a lot of the judges in your town. Now, judges always say they're impartial and unbiased, but in truth, I have seen time and time again how judges rule in favor of the judges, of the lawyers they like, the lawyers who contribute, the lawyers that they have a bit of a relationship with, a relationship in quotes. So keep that in mind when you're lawyer shopping. Now, obviously, I'm assuming that you've tried to work things out with her before things got to that stage so that the two of you can divide things up amicably. Because once lawyers get involved, the process gets stretched out for a long period of time, and their fees will consume a significant portion of your estate. So do whatever you can to work things out face to face with her. Do it amicably and reasonably, and also tell her, listen, all the money that we give, if you have kids, tell her all the money that we're going to give to these lawyers that could be going to our kids. Why waste it on the lawyers? But if that doesn't work, then and you have to both retain counsel, go out and hire a killer and hire a lawyer who is politically plugged in, and that could give you a bit of an edge. The next question is from Mohammed, and he says, my family owns a gas station in Los Angeles, and the fact that people are driving less and buying less gas is really hurting our business. So this is affecting all gas station owners, but it is only temporary. Eventually, your state and other states will open back up again on a significant scale, but you want to prevent this vulnerability from ever affecting your business again in the future. So what do? I would expand the retail side of your gas station dramatically. If you have the real estate footprint, add an extension onto the inside of your gas station so that you can sell more products. Put up a lottery sales ticket station. Add a Subway. Put a little McDonald's in your gas station. You need more retail reasons for customers to stop by and buy directly from you, other than purchasing gas. That is the key to your business. And then hopefully, whatever business you put in there, you have to add a delivery component to it, because if we ever get hit again by another pandemic, you don't want to be reliant on customers coming to you. You want to be able to deliver Subway sandwiches to people. You want to deliver burgers to people. Add a delivery component to your business, and that will help insulate you from a reoccurrence of this sort of event. So next we have David, and David says, the quarantine here in London is slamming my business in the worst way. He owns a catering business, and it's ground to a halt. He goes, all his cash flow has dried up. So there are a number of things that you can do. First and foremost, you have to include a delivery business in your a delivery service in your catering business. Transform yourself from just a catering service to a food delivery service that delivers not only your food to your customers, but also offers a subscription service to other companies in the area, which allows you to deliver food from their restaurants and places of business to their customers. Now, there are a number of competing delivery services out there, but there's always room for one that operates faster, more efficiently, and more affordably. So give that a try. So this one's from Nick, and Nick says the crime here in Miami Beach has skyrocketed and really hurt our retail business. Any ideas? Yeah. Miami is like a lot of large cities that have been overwhelmed with street crime. And it's street crime for all the obvious reasons and some which aren't so obvious. For example, not Miami, but some cities in some other states are no longer responding to low-level street crime calls. You call 911, you tell them there's a shoplifter, they don't come to your business anymore. They just say it's not possible. And so this has caused a dramatic escalation in street crime. Another thing that you can try, and this is having and a lot of retailers are having tremendous success with this, is don't just install security cameras. Flood your business with two-way security cameras that allow you to talk to, yell at, and discourage criminals from approaching or entering your business with a two-way sound system. Now, I know this is going to sound a little unusual because not everybody's familiar with it now, but there are now camera systems which, for example, when somebody triggers the alarm and comes up to your door, starts banging on your door, or they enter your business premises, there are now security cameras which link up to you remotely wherever you are and allow you to yell at the burglars or the vandals and tell them the police have been called and they're just a moments away, or tell them that the local private security team is going to be there in 60 seconds, and tell them to get the hell out, swear at them, use profanity, do whatever it takes to keep them in your facility for as little time as possible. The longer they're in your business, the more damage and theft that will occur. So get them the heck out. So next, Randall writes, my business lawyer is ripping me off. I can't prove it on paper, but I know he's overbilling me, charging me for many more work hours than he's actually working for me. So, welcome to the legal profession. Overbilling is a fundamental part of adding to, it's a fundamental business practice in the legal profession. They all deny it, and most of them do it. It is really common. And the larger the firm, the more they pad their legal bills. So one thing that you can do is contact 10 or 20 lawyers or small boutique law firms, and mid-sized law firms tend to be a little more conscientious. The large law firms are so enormous and they're generating so much money that they really don't care about individual clients. But go with the small law firms and tell them that tell them what's going on. Well, actually, tell them that what you're looking for is an attorney to provide legal services on a fixed fee basis. That's the key, fixed fee. If you want real work done in a timely and expeditious fashion, go with fixed fee. The attorneys who are more likely to do that are the attorneys with less than 5 years of experience, but that's fine, because the truth of the matter is there really isn't too much difference in the services provided by an attorney with 5 years experience and 10 years experience. A lot of these documents are prepared with legal templates. A lot of these legal services are the same as they were 10 years ago. Go with a small, hungry lawyer, and that should dramatically help you reduce your legal service fees. Next, we have Priscilla, and Priscilla says she's got a bankruptcy. She says, I've got a bankruptcy on my credit report, and it's making it hard for me to get a business loan. I want to start a business, but it's hard with so little credit available to me. What do you think I should do? Well, the less money you borrow, the better for you in the long term. Everybody thinks that the more money they have, the greater their likelihood of success. And to people like that, to young entrepreneurs like that, I would direct you to all the Fortune 500 companies that have invested billions of dollars in purchasing or starting new startups, and just look at the list of companies that they've created or purchased that have failed. Everybody thinks that infinite resources are the key to the solution. That's not always the case. Now, the other thing is that you can always go the friends and family route. But I have to say that with a cautionary note. Don't ever borrow any more from friends and family than they can afford to lose. If they have 50 grand in the bank, borrow no more than 5 grand from them. You never want to borrow a crippling amount of money from a friend or relative and then lose that money and destroy the relationship. So try not to ask for excessive amounts of money. It's better to ask 10 people for very small amounts of money than to ask one friend or relative for a potentially crippling amount of money, because a lot of these entrepreneurial ventures, they go into the crapper. Something like 90% of all restaurants self-destruct within 5 years. So be conservative, but be as cautious with other people's money as you would with your own. Next, we have a question from Wilbur. I've been a landlord for 10 years and things have run smoothly all that time. But now so many of my tenants are being furloughed from work because of recent events that they can't pay the rent. So this is a very common problem now with a lot of landlords from coast to coast. And one thing that's having some success is to offer to accept partial rent payments for a few months in exchange for them signing a longer lease with you and spreading out the balance of the back payments they owe you over the duration of this new longer lease. You know, that's a very attractive option for people who aren't at work now and they still need a roof over their head. And it keeps some cash flow flowing into you. But also there's another advantage. If you were to evict somebody now, well, a lot of the courts are still closed. And not only that, you still have to now begin looking for additional tenants. And guess what? Some of those other tenants, they've been evicted from their previous apartment because of recent events, and now their credit is screwed up. So you're going to be dealing with more of the same. It is better to preserve an existing tenant and to build and maintain that relationship than to dive back into the ocean of 10 tenants with bad credit and all the problems that entail. Next, we have a question from Betty. Betty says, I've been out of work for months now, and I'm not getting any responses on my resumes. So, Betty, I think you should start sending out resumes that include a cover letter. And that cover letter should say to companies the following. I see that both companies and employees are having a difficult time now because of recent events. And in recognition of that, I would like to submit my resume to your company as well as offer to work for you for my first week for free. And then after that, I would like to resume working full-time at a full-time salary. The reason for this is that I want to demonstrate my level of commitment and dedication to your business so that no matter how difficult things are, you'll remember my loyalty and dedication and give me a shot at moving to the front of the line ahead of all the other people who are applying with you. That seems to be a technique that's working in this difficult time, so give that a try. Next, we have a question from Samuel. He says, I'm 65 years old and nobody wants to hire me. What do I do? Well, Samuel, you're not just 65 years old, but you have 65 years worth of experience. I want you to try to sell your achievements and how you can use that vast experience and those achievements to help the companies you are applying with succeed. Don't just send them a resume. Everybody sends resumes. Include a cover letter with a specific solution that you're offering, a specific idea designed to help them generate more revenue, more sales. Target the needs of that specific company with the abilities of your past experience and, more importantly, your past achievements, and show them how that can be laid onto their needs and their current challenges. Be very, very specific. People really don't care about what you've done in the past. All they care about is how can you make them make more money now. That's all they care about. You know, everybody wants to hire 25-year-olds now, but a 25-year-old is only being hired because they're cheap labor. A 25-year-old is not going to save your company. It's very unlikely that they're going to turn your company around during difficult challenges. But you know who will? A 65-year-old with a ton of experience and, even more importantly, a lot of achievements. 65-year-olds are the new superstars of the corporate world because they have the insight, the experience, and the ability to do the near impossible. Why? Why? I'll tell you why. Because they've done it in the past and they can prove it. So keep that in mind. Number 10, this comes from Alan. I'm a relatively new airline pilot, and I'm getting hammered by the long hours and cheap wages being paid by this airline I work for. Well, a lot of second-tier airlines are, in fact, running their pilots into the ground and paying them low wages. You know, there are some airlines that pay pilots approximately what companies pay bus drivers. Think about that. They're equating flying a plane full of passengers with driving a bus. And any moron can tell you that the skill sets required by both are vastly different. So what I would do is I would begin to develop a second income stream by virtually teaching new flying students over the internet. And there are educational portions of learning to become a pilot, and then there is the flying time that you need to acquire when training to become a pilot and get your license. And the first portion, the educational portion, you can help by consulting and teaching over the internet. The second portion, the accumulation of flight time and flight experience, that can be done in two portions. Number one, you can do a preliminary education of that by helping train them on flight simulators, which they can train on their computers. The flight simulators now that people use on their computers, their home computers, are so incredible that they're stunning. And this will make them a little bit more informed, a little bit better rehearsed, and a little bit better trained for when they then move on to the actual in-aircraft flight training that you're going to give them in person on a one-on-one basis. So why is that an option? I'll tell you why. Because a lot of pilots want to charge a fortune for giving flight lessons. And I think you can lower the overall cost of your class by doing more training virtually and via flight simulator remotely. You don't even have to be in the same room to do this. And by doing that virtually, you'll then be able to offer the actual in-plane flight training at a more effective and in a more efficient manner. And in doing so, you'll be able to lower your price and be more competitive than the other pilots out there. So with that, I want to wish you well and tell you that we'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.